Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. We're doing the Tarot-Scopes today, and we're going to be doing the Tarot-Scopes for the sign of Capricorn. And I'm going to be using my Illuminated Earth Oracle deck as a tarot deck to see what is up for Capricorn. Now, astrologically, of course, we have Pluto in Capricorn still since 2008. And it has been making some aspects of late that will, in some cases, be the last time Pluto makes aspects to specific other planets in while it's in Capricorn, because next year Pluto is going to dip its little toe into Aquarius. It will go back into Capricorn to sort of finish up, but this is the last year where we have the full year in Pluto in Capricorn, and so it is at the end of Capricorn. So if you happen to be one of those latter Capricorns around the cusp of Aquarius, you're really feeling that Pluto right now. So let's take a look and see what's going on in the sky for you guys, Capricorn. This is just a general look. If you want something more detailed, you can always check out my Astrology and Kabbalah of the month. It's not specifically for Capricorn necessarily, but it does give you sort of a week by week look at the astrology, and you could always join me on my morning walks through the garden when I talk astrology and wax poetic sometimes. Not always, depends on how early it is and how much coffee I've had. All right, so we do have your ruling planet Saturn, of course, in the sign of Aquarius. That's been going on now for it moved into Aquarius in 2021, I believe. And now it's right around the middle degrees of Aquarius. Saturn spends about 2.5 years in a sign. So we're about halfway through that, Saturn in Aquarius. And so Aquarius for you is that second house of values, including your sense of your own self-worth and self-esteem. And so with Saturn there, it can feel a little like maybe the world is acting against you in some ways, especially when it comes to finances. But the thing is the more you work it, the more successful you will be. Having Saturn move through the second house can initially feel like there's lack, but then you learn to work with the energy. And of course, you're Capricorn, so you know how to work with Saturn, so it's not necessarily a huge issue. We do have, of course, a full moon on the 16th. That is an eclipse. The moon is in Scorpio, and for you, this is your house of friends. And the sun, being in Taurus, is in your house of more intimate relationships, like romance. So that area of your chart gets activated through this full moon. So there will be awareness around the love that you give and the love that you receive. There's awareness around very sort of personal, subjective love, and then the more objective sort of unconditional love for humanity kind of thing that comes up. So all of that gets activated through the full moon. Mercury is retrograde from the 10th. Mercury is in Gemini. It moves right into Gemini right at the beginning of the month on the 2nd, I believe. Oh no, it's not actually. It moves into Gemini at the end of April. Venus moves into Aries on the 2nd. That's right. So Venus in Aries, Venus is our relationships, what we love, etc. And in Aries for you, Capricorn, we're looking at your 4th house. And so with Venus moving through that 4th house, you may want to redesign, do something like that, bring beauty, maybe work on your garden, whatever it is that you want to do. You do have a new moon at the end of the month on the 30th. That's in Gemini. For you, Gemini would be your house of health. So it would be a good time to start a new health regime at the end of the month. So let's take a look and see what the Illuminated Earth Oracle wants to, what wisdom it would like to impart on us, Capricorn. Okay, so for Capricorns, it's been a long and winding road. And challenging. Especially, I think, for the physical body. Capricorn rules the knees and structure and the skin. And you might find yourself having some arthralgia. And this might be true of everybody, not just Capricorn. Some skin issues, some rashing, stuff like that. Excuse me. We have these little gnats that have just come out and outside, and sometimes they get like in your hair. They bite your head. Little bastards. So if you see me scratching, it's just the little gnats outside. All right, let's see what we got. So where are we right now, Capricorn? What's the energy of the moment? Yeah, so we have the energy of separation. We can see that separation, boundaries, there's this big sense of being stuck maybe, or not allowing the emotions to flow. The illusion of being separate, the illusion of being alone. So you may feel kind of isolated at this time. What's challenging that is reincarnation. Interesting card. I think that separateness being challenged by reincarnation, right? It's the realization perhaps that this isn't the only reality that we have lived through. This isn't the only time that we have like trod the earth. And so that realization, that understanding is an understanding of a larger cycle. And that's the challenge here. Even though, and you're not in a particularly pleasant place right now. That separation really kind of staunches the flow of feeling and emotion. And one of the dangers of Capricorn is that you can suppress your feelings. You can sort of push them down so that they don't get in the way of your forward progress. But in that process, the life force comes out of everything because you isolate yourself. Capricorn can be very much an energy of calcification, right? So where in your life are you feeling calcified? And where can a broader perspective, even a perspective from a previous lifetime, can help you to sort of loosen up and maybe not feel so alone? Let's see what's underneath it. So underneath it all is fertility. So in its worst, or in its maybe least helpful form of Capricorn, we have that sort of calcified, not going to change my mind, not going to feel my feelings. We're just going to be this rock in the middle of a stream, so that nothing flows, nothing goes, right? Or the other side of Capricorn as an earth sign, right, is this fertility, knowing what it takes to grow things, knowing what it takes to build things, knowing. So that's underneath it all. That's underneath it all. So your power as a Capricorn, in the sense of Capricorn as connected to a fertile earth sign, you know, when we do, today actually, as I'm doing this, the moon is in Capricorn. And today is a day that we're going to go around and we're going to cut off and some of the apple tree and stuff. There's some dead branches, you know, or branches that are dying. And in order to help the rest of the tree, which in our case, it's a very old tree. So you kind of have to, at this point in its life, it's probably, I think it was planted in the 30s. So we're looking at a tree that's, close to 90 years old. That's old for a fruit tree, right? Maybe 80 years old. So we're going to cut the branches that are dead so that the life force goes into the branches that are left. And so the life force is still there. And oftentimes when you do this sort of lopping off the things that are sort of draining the energy, and on a certain level, it stresses things, right? It stresses the tree. I don't think any tree likes anything cut off of it, really. But that stress actually helps to bring the life force back in. It's like the tree wants to like heal that, or wants to go in that direction, or is no longer being drained. And so I think that the potential for growth is definitely here. You have the fertility right at the bottom of the reading. So at the root of it is a fertility. So you may be feeling like you want to create something or make something. There's all this energy, but you feel blocked. You feel blocked in the situation that you're in at the moment. Let's see what's in the past. Tempest. So this is a storm. This is, in a way, it's kind of like the, it could be. There's a couple of cards in here that are kind of like the Tower, right? And this we see all this like electricity. There's been a break. When there's a lot of tension, that's when lightning strikes. It breaks the tension. And so there's been a break. There's been a storm, and perhaps you've weathered the storm. And in that particular way of weathering the storm, you have isolated yourself. So let's see what's in the sky. Connection. All right, so what these cards are saying is you need to reach out. The time of being in your own little world, or the time of hiding out, or, you know, I mean, a lot of us have been experiencing this just because of COVID, right? Just because of COVID. So now it's time to reach out, to go, to explore, to make connections. The connections are out there for you to make. Let's see what's in the immediate future. Release. Release. So in order for you to connect, in order for you to reach out your hand to somebody, there's something you need to let go of first. And that's what release is about. You know, they say when you hold on to things, you can't get anything else because you're holding too tight. So when you let go, that's when spirit comes in and fills you up again. So it's just a matter of letting go of something. And that process will happen through this month. Whether it's emotions or a situation or something that you've built that you don't necessarily want to let go of, but it's not serving a purpose anymore. All that has to go this month for you. Let's see how it's seen from the outside. Yeah, abundance. You may not be feeling particularly abundant, but there are people all around you that know that you are in fact a font of abundance. In your domestic situation, we have phenomena. To me, this card always speaks of sort of rising out of the lower, in a way, the lower earthly realms to a higher, more spiritual realm. But it's that connection, really, that helps us to rise up, because we still have to have our feet on the ground. we still have to have our feet on the ground. So this card says to me, go out, connect with others, but do it at your own pace. Do it slowly. This doesn't have to be like right away, like you go from being a hermit to being the belle of the ball. That's not really what this is about. But it's about having a vision of of something different, and then gradually moving in the direction of that vision. That's what that card says to me. Hopes and fears, the underworld. You know, everybody talks about shadow work. I talk about it all the time. Oh, it's so important to do shadow work. And of course, with the South Node in Scorpio right now, we're all having to do our share of releasing and letting go. This is the hope and fear card. There's really nothing to fear. But sometimes we just hope it's over because, you know, the shadow is tough stuff. And sometimes we would just like to say, all right, well, I did the shadow. Let's go next, right? Oh, goodness. So we have patience here. Patience as the outcome. But, you know, guys, you are patient. If there is any sign in the zodiac that is patient, it is Capricorn, because Capricorn understands that it takes time. Everything takes time. And so the manifested, what it is that you want to manifest, the world that you want to create, is in the process of being created. And it just takes slow, steady progress, which is really what Capricorn is all about. Capricorn is no flash in the pan for sure. All right, let's see if what's underneath it here. Oh, we have childhood. So a lot of maybe what's blocking you, or stuff, the shadow stuff that you're working through, has to do with your childhood. You know, as I understand it, and as I look at it when I do my Kabbalah readings, your childhood is on a certain level, all the things that, and all the people that you haven't yet quite finished your karma with. And so they come into your life right at the beginning. They're all around you. These are the issues that you have to work through in order for you to move into your power, to let go of the past in a way, or learn from it, and then start to create your own, you know, power structure, or your own structure in your life that's going to make you, that's going to hold you, or hold your purpose, right? Like a cup holds the wine. Disguise. You've been trying to the soft little, the soft candy center is covered up with this bear suit. So it's like Grumpy Bear, like, I'm Grumpy Bear. So there's this disguise of yours is really a protection. And there's the obstacle right there. So what I would say is, it's very interesting because these two cards are kind of similar, right? But it does indicate that the blockage that you are feeling right now is based in your childhood, So that's perhaps something that you need to let go of. Any resentments, anything that's connected to your childhood, it's time to you know, negative stuff, it's time to release that. Okay, let's see what I'm going to use the Mystical Shaman Oracle for the Oracle card for you, Capricorn. So let me just put these cards back, those away, and let's pick an Oracle card. I love this deck. I saw one of the people who's on this deck is Colette Baron Reed. I just watched a video with Lee Harris on her. Very, very interesting. So if you guys probably follow Lee, right? I love him. He really is hooked in. I mean, so are the astrologers, really, but he doesn't use, as far as I know, astrology. He just gets it from the Z's. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. What does the Mystical Shaman Oracle have to say to the Capricorns out there? Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, Capricorn Rising. Lots of planets in the 10th house, maybe. Or maybe just lots of Capricorn. Upper World. Upper World 59. I will read this to you. It's such a beautiful card. I love these cards. The art in them is just phenomenal. I'll hold it up and I'll read both the invitation and the medicine on this, because it may apply to, even though I picked it up like this, I like to look at both sides always. I don't generally read upside down cards, so I like to read the both things here. Okay, so it says, angels, divine helpers, the ancient ones, and all varieties of luminous beings populate the upper world. It is a place where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become, discover your great potentials and undreamt of possibilities. It is also a place where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journey to the light. The invitation, the upper world is calling you to step into your fully realized self. Clear distractions so that you can move into your higher density. Do not fall to the temptation to craft a slightly more improved version of yourself. When you perceive a problem or an obstacle, it is in fact the irritation you need to take a great leap. Remember, you cannot cross the Grand Canyon in 2 small jumps. And the medicine, this may apply to you as well, or it may apply to you more than the invitation. It says, ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take that which has been offered. Now you must deal with the lethargy and idleness. While support for a new destiny is not yet in place, a new destination is available to you if you act now. So it's as if it's already been built, but it's been built in the higher realms. And now it's about connecting to the continuity of life in order to release, let go of what needs to let go of, what blocks you from your own joy or your own ability to manifest the world that you want. I understand with Pluto and Capricorn, there's been a lot of time where maybe you thought you had it figured, and then everything changed and everything shifted beneath your feet. Capricorn is pretty fixed in its structures, and so it generally takes a lot to shake you guys out of where you might be stuck, but it's almost done. Pluto's moving on, guys. All right, have yourself a wonderful month. Please like and subscribe. You can check out my Astrology and Kabbalah of May. You can check out my Moon Shadows with Ona. We have done one for the new moon in Taurus that occurred on the 30th of April. So check that out. Much love to you all. Love you, Capricorns. You make the world go round, quite frankly. Take care, everyone. Namaste.